Hey, welcome to my channel, Ventures with Motive. My name is Sean. If you haven't been here before, this is what we're doing. We're building a Renault Midland motorhome. A kitchen unit, a living area, a dining area, a double bed space, a shower and toilet, 2 home built slide outs, a generator, all built on a lorry. This week has been about that, which you can't see that well. So let me just pop this light out, maybe that'll help. There you go. And that nearly ended in disaster, because the second coat of lacquer that went on, it just reacted really bad. I mean, we've got a few lumps here and there, but I was just so pleased to get a decent coat on it that I just decided that we weren't going to sand down the lumps, so we were just going to have to live with them. Some people would. I've just been on Facebook sales. I managed to pick up a tap, so I'm going to get some plumbing work for that tomorrow, and we'll see if we can get that plumbed into the cold water and the beginnings of the hot water system. This is, believe it or not, this copper has just been polished up and lacquered, and I'm not expecting the lacquer to last. You can see I've done the same over there. It's a hammered finish, because I literally did pick the hammer up. It's actually an old pipe. Well, it ain't an old pipe, it's a new pipe. Flattened it, cut it, but I did a very bad job in cutting it. It's a bit wavy in places. This one's going up there just to tidy that bit up, and I've got to bend another one up tomorrow, flatten it down and put a curve in it, because I want to overlap this one, so a piece will go on like that, and then it will come over the edge like that. I am never going to get this lorry finished at this rate when I keep flipping spending money. When I keep spending money on that unnecessaries. Unfortunately, although I will be doing it, the Trolls bike at the moment is a no-go, because I'm struggling with a logbook on that. So something else to go on the back. But I did say to the owner, because he loves this was his first bike when he passed his test, that it could end up getting triked temporarily if it becomes too expensive to get through that bike test. I'm confident I can do it, a little bit weary about the theory, but it's a shaft drive. This could find itself being triked. Copper trim. Got 2 pieces in here drying. I've got another 2 in the house. That one's for the counter edge that I spoke about many moons ago when Country Life Van Life, I think it was Stephen was referring to beer, what do you call it, beer pumps or something going in there, because it was a beer theme. No, originally it wasn't. It was more of a steampunk old-fashioned look, but whatever. I mean, I've got a strip there. This is all copper pipe. It's all been trimmed and flattened and God knows what. Little bit of hammering going on, but I'm not worried about that. That's all part of the charm, in my opinion. So there's a piece of trim going to go over that edge there because it's ugly. We've got a piece to go over this bit here because I don't like that wood, and we've got another piece to go in along there somewhere, and the best one is we've got a piece going in over the back, hide all of that damage. So we're going to get some pink grip, and we're just going to flood that whole area of pink grip, and then we're going to compress that down and then screw it, and that's it, it's done. And then white sealant around just to finish it off. We've already done up here, nice piece up there. It's all lacquered as well, so I'm hoping it won't corrode, but I'm not expecting that lacquer to stay. I'm sure it will start peeling. And we've got the taps fitted. Now we're on the bit where we're plumbing up now. The hot water will go straight to the tap. We at the moment aren't going to divert that off, but we've already got diverter pieces already there. So we've got one pipe down here, one here, that's the pump, which is there. Got some fittings for it yesterday. So we'll fit that day morning, Saturday. Don't know if you can see that, but the pump is in, plumbed. I'm just in the process of removing that middle pipe. Then that one's going to travel down the side, be clipped in, curved round and down, and then that red one will go around that side across. And if I can get it to reach, which I don't think I can, into the red inlet over there, so that seals that system off. this one to where I'm at on the video, but look, that's, the red is in, the blues are all diverted. I think that's fairly neat and tidy and sturdy, but now we've got the problem of this one, which has got to go into the shower, and there's a hot as well. I've slidden the slide out in and out. I've got a block of wood there, as you can see down there, possibly not, and there's an air gap, so you can see it's not sealing properly at the moment because the rubber fell off. That piece of wood, this hose has to stay on the inside edge of it. It can't go beyond it. What I'm saying is the pipes can't come through over the back there. They have to come in through here somewhere. The other prop I come up with, we'll leave them hanging, we'll smash that alley in so we've got something smooth for it to run against. We're going to put, when we put the cover over, we're going to cut a big slit out and they will go inside the slit. I don't really know how I'm going to make this work at the moment, but I think when this goes in and out, that should be fine, and it has the room to move along that slit area. I will probably have to put some very heavy duty rubber or leather around it or something to help it slide so it doesn't wear out the hoses, but as you can see it's in its closed position. We'll get some joiners, we'll join onto them, we'll go through here somewhere, a big old wooden alley plate glued on with a shower head in there, and we'll do a time lapse on this. So there you go. That's about as neat as I can get it. Sorry about the background music. I hope I don't get copyright for that. Everything's clamped in. I've got this one ready for a T-piece to go up there. Because I've got nothing to blanket off with up this end, I've decided not to connect that one up. The blue was already connected, which is why it's in place. I've just got to get another Jubilee and put a block of wood in the end of that. Now we're at the point where I think we can start putting wires in. So the gas will be the water heater in. We've made a box, we've padded it, and we've glued. I had to sew a piece of material together, I didn't have enough. That's now all in, my new controller is in. Let's just hope that water heater works, because I don't know, I've never seen it working. The 240 is in, we just got to tidy up the wiring that's going down. We've got another 240 here, which is going to go directly into the fridge, but I'm thinking about putting a socket in there instead, so as we can extend this one, put a plug on the end of that, and that's fused then, and then we can just drop that in and then push the whole thing in, and we ain't got to worry too much about it. So that's one of my thoughts. This is a 240, no sorry, that's a 240 as well. That, I'm waiting for a socket for that. That's going to go over the top of all of this. We've just got to carve the case out so as it fits, and then we've got to replace these screws with some decent little cap covers. Now you're probably wondering what that hole's for. Well, we need controls for the water heater. This came out of a caravan a long time ago that I've had sitting around, and I never thought I'd use it, but I think that's going to go there because we've got a water heater switch that I need. We've got lights, well I'm going to put that light there on that, so she's got additional control over lights, so we've got to feed into that. We've got 12 volts up there, but I'm confused to what this is because it doesn't appear to be connected to anything, but I had a tape written on it, 12 volt fridge. Okay, so that's all plumbed in now. We've got two switches which will be live when I get that wired in, but at the moment we have not. We've got the wire for those switches running down here. What we've got going on is we've got I've forgotten. I think the blue was joined, so it diverts off of that. That will go straight to the water heater, because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure this thermostat requires a 12 volt feed permanently, because when you're running it on gas it needs the thermostat to shut down. Without it, it won't. So I'm assuming that's what the 12 volt is for. I can't see the flimsy little wires on the back of this, which are here. No, here, no, where are they? Oh, I don't know, they're here somewhere. I can't see those wires being strong enough to power this damn thing up. Personally. So we've got that one, that plug, that wire set here. We folded that one up because it doesn't do anything. We've got a switch with USBs. I'm going to make a cover plate to go over this, and then we'll whop that in there. Yeah, I know it's close to the sink. I'm a bit concerned about that. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't put it up here because it's in the way of that. Can't stick it here because it's still near the sink anyway, so we might as well chuck it over here, mightn't we? And it's only going to be used for things like mixer and stuff like that. I'm going to make a wooden top for this as well, so when she's not using the water source, she can then lay stuff down on top of it. Okay, we're all buttoned up. All those horrible wires are hidden. Pity it went that way, but there's nothing I can do about it. So it is a bit, I don't know, you tell me, is it untidy or does it work? I mean, everything is where it needs to be. Wires are all hidden. They go through the wall, come out down the bottom, as you know. I don't like this cover at all, but there's just nothing I could do with it. We've got me sockets, double sockets and USBs. And it don't work, do it? Look at that. Oh, well, that's going to go back. Right, I punched this in and out several times. I think it's because it's new. Seems to be working fine now. Okay. Right, that is a water pump with no water. But, as you can see, we've got flowing water. Not much of it, because I'm running out in the tank. Getting a little low. That old pump's struggling now. There you go, see what I mean? We've got, so yeah. And that gauge is all working. So I'm pooped, it's 12:30. I was going to pack up earlier, but decided to continue. It's all plumbed in down there. I managed to get that light working, but I think I've damaged the wire down there because I can't get that one working. So I've got to take that cover off and see if I can't get my hand in there and find out exactly what I've done. I don't think there's any repair in that. So I might live enuff, and that middle switch is what I'm referring to. Does now work on the main switch, which is that one. We have that. However, that switch, it's Monday morning by the way, that one has, I've severed in that wire, and the one that was up there, I've severed into that somehow. I don't know how I managed it. I've disconnected it from what I can appear the system, but that one's still got a live going through it. I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to backtrack it first to see where it goes in there, but I'm going to put another wire in there to run alongside that one, and that will run all the way up over to the centre. And I think we'll put a tube light and a light switch down here. So I've just been to Barry Simon's Caravan Centre. Got 2 Jubilee clips, which I think are going to be too small because I misjudged the pipe size. I got a 3-way T-piece for the water system, and what you can't see because I've already temporarily fitted it is an end piece for the gas, which is there somewhere. So what I'm going to do, PTF that off. We'll put a light amount of air through the system at 5 psi, and if that doesn't show anything, then I'll jack it up just a tiny bit. I might as well shut this off because it isn't doing anything. Nope, nothing's going through the system. So we're going to fit that today on the hot. I've been playing around with the shower unit. I still don't know fully what to do about that at the moment, but we're going to put the taps in. We are going to chop up, I don't know if I should do this because it's just going over the top, I think, but we've got a load of those. I'm saving the 3 that are up there for shelves for the wardrobe, but I'm going to take 2 sections off and try and screw that to the wall. So we've got to pull that back in again. So we've got to get that under there out of the way. We've got to pull that back in, and tomorrow I'll get some white sealant or some other bits and bobs, whatever I need really. I don't want to make it too permanent, because if I get problems I've got to access it. So if I seal it with polyurethane, that could become a bit of a nightmare. I don't know if you can see this, but that part is grey and that part is white. You'll be surprised at how easy and interchangeable some of this stuff really is. The taps and the flat piece is just a normal tap, but the centre and the valves is the shower piece, and they're all identical. The only difference being is the pipe work going down the middle. Now originally that piece was facing the other direction because you could throw that pipe through, and I did explain what I was going to do with that. So yeah, we're going to attempt, I don't know if I can pull it off yet, fill that with sealant and then find some kind of cap to go over the top and hide all of that. But before we get into it, it's just too deep. It won't work. You can see the pipes. So what I've got to do is I've got to bring it right out to like that. So I can't find anything that's going to be useful for the job in the camping shops, so I've got this. It is a marble display case. That's what we spoke about. I've cut it down because originally it was that length up there. I have cut it down to 2 tiers. I've marked the centres where the pipes would be, as you can see, and well, next on the agenda is to get the grinder and gently cut around all of that, and then we've got to go through that centre piece, which I totally forgot about. Very carefully go down each side of that, and that won't be easy. So I reckon my circular saw might come in handy for that. I think we might just jump that on there very gently and go down, because we can get a straight cut on that, do both sides. And then I think I might use that middle section as a means of putting the plate work on to bolt it to the bulkhead. Let's try not to scratch it up. It will go roughly about there, about 2.5 foot off the ground, because the pipes aren't that long. Okay, Tuesday. I can't seem to get that to go on neat and tidy. It's going everywhere, and it's going to show up if I can't somehow neaten that off. But they glow. I've soldered up some terminals, and that was a struggle. I've already done one set already and lost my rag and tore them off. The problem is when the super glue holds it, the circuit board itself, the strip, is heavier than the actual solder that's holding the circuit. So I ended up ripping half of them on the first attempt. But as I've been going around, I've been keeping an eye on it and making sure it still works after every process. I'll be brief because my battery's about to die. Boarded up the back, we drilled the holes, and we cut some pipe to fill the holes in, because this stuff's corrugated. And if I left that with a corrugated hole, you'd see it a mile off and it'd look ugly. It ain't brilliant, but it will work reasonably well. We've also managed to straighten out a little bit of this stuff, but to be honest, and it ain't ever going to be any good. Once it's dried off, we'll try and clean off the residue that I've put everywhere, and do that very, very carefully. This has actually put a big smile on the wife's face. I'm supposed to do this one-handed. Right. Red. Blue. Cold. Hot. But that will go over there where it's already been prepped. There you go, it's in. No water plumbed up yet. Not yet. The wife loves it. How cool is that? I mean, come on, you gotta admit there's some imagination going there, isn't there? Oh dear, oh dear. Right, we need to do this next and seal up the hole, and as you can see, or you're about to see, there is a heck of a length of it. So I reckon I am going to screw in a holding point there for that, somewhere around about there, using an old central heating clip. That way it can still be moved around, but I'll get it out of the way, which is what I need. So we'll put the shower point up there first, because I've already cut a piece of ply ready for that, and glue that in place. And once we've got that done, we'll then establish how much of this slack we want, which is probably going to be about there. So all of that down there, you swine. All of that will be I can't do it. It's a pain in the butt one-handed. So yeah, all of that will have to go down the bottom and get it out of the way so I don't trip over it. Hey honey, go on. Hang on, just move. Mine's out of the way. I want to get in.
Well, I would, but
Breathe in. You're not that fat. Oi. Go on then. I want to see your face when you turn that on.
oh my god, I like it. I like it.
Okay, I'm in the caravan centre. Got some more clips. Gonna need them. Jubilee, another 3-way that's got to be tapped into that. Some wire, masking tape. This is your everyday household 240 volt lampshady, you know, side lamp stuff. I'm using it for the LEDs. I'm using it for the pump. Not the pump, sorry, the solenoid for that. It's so low power, so low amp, so the voltage, everything about it, that it will be more than adequate for the job. Neat as I can get it so far, but the light switch is in, the main master is in, and we've got that coupled up to the switch itself. We've threaded some wires through there. That'll all be hidden eventually underneath. We've just got to run a bit of tape and try and push that wire there through. That's got it. So we'll run some tape up there and just get that to stay, and then we'll put a block of wood across each side, so when we clad up we can go straight across with a bit of luck. That's the plan. We don't want to decrease our headroom if we can help it. And junction box, but we went a little bit short on the toilet valve. A little bit annoyed about that. That's got to go in there, and there's going to be eventually a piece of wood go over the top of that, but that's pulled that rather too tight for my liking. We'll see what room we've got down below, but just straighten it out, and we've clipped. I'm falling over everything. It's clipped as well. So that's so far. Now we've just got the what we got. How do I think about this? Well, let there be light. We've got pretty much all the wires in there. We've got the ceiling lights. They'll get glued down once the plastic goes on. The Thetford loo, you can see the dimness. That's working. The fill light works. We'll put a magnet on that to see. That works fine. That's all working. Cool, they're hot. They get quite hot, they do. We even managed to put a spare one in here as well. We'll snip this wire back, because I was trying to put it on the end of here so I could move it around, but it didn't work. The wires are so thin. So the only thing left to do now is plumbing. Somehow we've got to tie into that blue one, run underneath, and find our way into the wardrobe, and then drill where that hole is there, drill through, and then go into that somehow. I don't know at the moment how that's happening. Okay, the last pipe has gone in. We have fully pressurised system, one loo, and a mess everywhere. Oh, wakey wakey. No lights, no pump, nothing. So we have a loo. Da-da. We have, and we can't do this too much. Blah. One shower, and a proper shower at that. I got rid of that old camper van one, I didn't like it. I managed to get an adapter which didn't quite fit properly, but enough to get that to work. So that shower came from a mate who got it from B&M, but the hose that it came with had a split in it, so I've nicked one from somewhere else that was lying around and replaced that, but put everything else up. Why did I do this? Well, because it's just a lot nicer, but it's also a lot more irritating than I anticipated. We're not going to be moving this around too much, so that won't stay up. We'll have to deal with it. We've got no plug drain in yet, so there's a bucket there. We've got a soaking wet floor because water just went everywhere. We've got one more leak to sort out, which is the cold on that side. It's dripping down there, but other than that, we've got running water, more running water. Quite pleased with this. So we've got that, we've got the shower, we've got that ugly screw sticking out we've got to get rid of. We've got lights and more lights. We've got toilet. You've witnessed that. Yeah, I'm pleased. That's been epic. 2 weeks, 2 solid weeks on this. The wiring is all in, that was something that was done. All the hose lines are now in, that fancy light box is in. Yeah, pump's just kicked in because I suspect we've got water leaks still there, so I've got to now drain that so I can get that hose out, and there's a good chance it's, the sink has got to come out, so I've got to put PFT or whatever the hell you call that stuff around the threads. Yeah, we've achieved what we set out to do. I'm pretty damn pleased. Now it's a question of getting in here and having a damn good clear up. I'll sort out those leaks later on tonight because I'm just a little bit worn out at the moment, if I'm honest with you. We've got to put a shower curtain around here, but and the purpose is we've got to keep it away from that wood. And it's got to come round. Now I've put the hose in, we're going to build a piece of wood along there as a sort of a trough type thing, so the curtain can sit behind that and the water will go into there and not into here. We've got the ceiling to do, and this is one of my ideas. I was going to use a regular curtain because I've looked for a proper shower rail, but they're going to be difficult to fit because I've got no support, and this is very, very flexible, as you can see on this one here. They do bend and still slide relatively well, and they're relatively cheap as well. So what I'm considering is a piece of wood across that ceiling line that lines up with that wood there, straight up, and then come across to here so it meets up to there. Then I can hook the shower curtain rail to the inside edge all the way around. But here's the best bit. If I line that section of roof first, then put my wood in, which I'm not sure how that's all going to happen at the moment, but that's where I'm at. Then we can put wood all the way around. We can then bring that ceiling a lot lower here, so there's a little bit of an indent there, and then we'll just basically fit these accordingly. I'm currently just on the thought process of this at the moment, but what I am currently doing is now working out the waste. I've got a pipe going underneath there, which I think is about 43mm, something like that. Unfortunately, Toolstation don't do any adapters. I've got to get that 43 down to about 20 or less. is going to have to come off, go in a U shape, and then go through a hole that I've previously made. So I reckon it'll go that way around across. So when the slide out moves in and out, the hose, which is what we're going to use, can stretch into, and it's this stuff here that I'm going to be putting in, and then Jubilee clipping it, and that will be going straight through the hole excuse me, into the sump that's got to be built. I've found gland fittings. Sorry, I found some gland fittings that you get for tanks, you know, loft tanks. So I can then feed one of those into the side, and then we've got a brass heavy duty pump that we can then plumb to the other half of that pipe, and then we will go uphill underneath, and we will come through the locker here somewhere if we can get it to work. That's going to be a long hose as well, and we'll go uphill into the waste pipe, but we're going to go up and then down because we don't want the waste water from that pipe backfilling at all. There'll be an overflow on that tray that's going in underneath as well, so although I'm going to be sealing it in, there will be an overflow, so if the pump ever packs up, the water can still get out. It will just end up on the path or road or grass or wherever, and that's that. I mean, it ain't going to hurt anybody, is it? Let's be honest about it. There's a few crybabies in this world that might cry about it, but that's not something that's going to be a daily occurrence. Well, the wife came in and we had a good clear up, and I must say this is now starting to feel like that we're getting somewhere, and I'm feeling quite excited. The fact that I've got a water system that works. I'm deliberately trying to fill it up, so I want to see if that light come on, you see. We ain't touching that because we've got no drain. You can see water dribbling out still. Yeah, it's getting exciting. It's starting to feel good. Morning guys, I've just been down to Wolseley Plumbing Centre in Ipswich. It's up on Norwich Road. Hit the roundabout, go left as if you're going towards Asda, first left. Tool station couldn't help me. Didn't want to get a B&Q, too long-winded. 10 mile drive there and back. Graham's wouldn't sell me anything because they're card only, and I don't keep money on my card in case I lose it, so not happening. Found Wolseley. It was who was it who put me onto that? Eastern Hose Hydraulics told me to go and give them a look yesterday for the tap fitting. There's no point looking in there for the tap fitting. So they've just sold me all of this little lot, and I'll tell you what, the glue-on stuff, I'm flipping impressed with that. It was so easy, so ruddy easy. You remember previous video around the pipe all the way around, I didn't tell you this bit, but it leaks at that end. It doesn't quite go in the tank, and I thought I will readdress this at a later date. It was fine when I put it up there until I clipped in that last one and put tension under the whole lot, and because that's these rubber joins, it leaks. So what I plan to do now is I am going to disconnect all of them, throw them, and I'm going to get the glue on stuff, because I am so impressed with this. I want to say thank you to Wolseley Plumbing. I will be back, in the words of, yeah, I will be back. Anyway, that's what we got. That goes on my shower. That will bolt onto the shower piece, and my hose, which is this hose, which slides over it perfectly. We'll get Jubilee down with 2 Jubilees. It means I can pull it apart. It does also mean it will hold water, which I didn't want to do, but we are going to go literally in a letter C. We'll go in a letter C with the hose. It'll go round and then down, so it can move in and out the way it needs to, and we'll try and keep that hose as close to the ground as we can possibly get it. Been down to Graham's Plumbing for the 3rd time. And I'm quite excited about this, if I'm honest. Sounds like a right old Suffolk in there, didn't I? Anyway, swivels. The idea is we will run it up through a beam here somewhere, well up this end, and then straight in to that piece here. That is all firmly glued. It's not going nowhere. Even that has been glued up. If anything breaks on that line, it's replacement of everything. That will go uphill eventually, but we need to leave enough slack to be able to get this to go in the manner that I want it to. This hose is going to have to be somehow sealed up, and I was thinking about cutting another hole in that wood as I just spoke about, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. I could just go straight to there, but I'll have all that flopping about, and it needs to be in line with that to stop it from poking out. But we need enough. So there's going to be a skirting board under here eventually, so that should stop it. We can put a bungee strap against the floor at the back, I suppose, and tie it on so it pulls it in. Loads of things I can do. One of them's tighten this damn thing up. That's not going to be so easy. We put a washer on there so it doesn't wear the wood out too much, and it's all greased all the way through with another glue piece at the bottom, but I got the tube a bit too short, so it didn't quite go all the way through, and because I'd already glued that one up, I didn't really want to go back and buy another one, because it wasn't just the elbow, it was this piece as well, and I wasn't particularly keen on the idea of replacing it, so that's the best we can come up with. So we'll drill a hole in here, thread that through, cut the pipe, put the other joint on, screw that joint onto the end of that. We've got everything else back in. We can then put water in the shower tray and test it all out. It's all in. I've just given it a test run. That swivels as I intended it. You see these screws here? I've got to cut a couple of them back. Just because they're being a bit of a nuisance, but they're not catching, they're not ripping nothing, and that's coupled up. We've turned that to the side slightly, and yeah, once we get a skirting board along here, that pipe will rest against that, so when it moves in and out, that will have more movement on it. And then the next thing to do on this system is put the sump box in directly under that pipe and get a gland fitting for the side, I think that's what they call them, and stick the pump on the end of that, and then send the rest of that spare hose back up, which I may very well come back up into the floor here at that point with the flexible hose, get another union made for that and glue that on, and have the hose go right up over and down into that top piece, which I think we can probably do very, very soon. Okay, so I'm putting some battens up briefly. There's another one to go there, and there's another one to go across there, so we'll fill this in one direction at a different height, and then we'll fill in this one at a lower height. Well, I wouldn't know what you're thinking right this minute. I've had to put a screw in there to hold that up because there's something not holding. It dips a bit the way I planned, but I ran out of wood. Next thing is to get some wood all the way around here on the inside edge to block off all that honeycomb, and then there'll be another piece go on the outside of that, glued to the piece that's under, screwed into there all the way around with grab glue, and hopefully we can stick a damn shower curtain in. So there you go. Okay, we are finally finished. Well, we're not actually. I'm not very good at sealing. You can see I kind of hashed it in places, but I just don't want any water getting around, so I kind of living with it. So the shower's in, the tap system's in, but I've got to redo the LEDs. Not an issue. That lid's got to come off because I want to properly varnish that up. The floor's just got to be lightly sanded with some floor varnish to go down. The toilet area needs completely re-cleaning. It's a bit dirty still, especially inside. It's really dirty. I have no idea what's sat in there for a period of time. I don't want to know. We've got to clean up that sealant there because after I sealed it I went and blew bloody sawdust over it, so it's messed it up. Shower curtains in. The shower out is just a normal shower, a normal household curtain. They bend so easily, and it is literally just curved all the way around onto the square wood. We've got to paint the wood as yet. Job for another day. We don't need to be doing it anytime soon. I'm just trying to prep for the MOT, that's all. And I just wanted some water system in here, shower, toilet working, so when I did finally get on the road, even if I couldn't cook food, at least I could have the water system up and running, so we can do something with the truck. So there you go, that's it. That's everything I can possibly think of, guys. I'm so pleased with this. We just got the door handle to sort out. We've got this woodwork here to deal with. And then we've got to readdress that pulley over there because the whole slide out's still not working as well as it could be. I can't help feeling that maybe I should go back to hydraulics, but I need to find a massive pump, piston, sorry, cylinder. It needs to be at least 3 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches wide, I would say, because the smaller ones just go too quick and nothing works when they go too quick. So next week, what are we doing next week? I really don't know. I know what I want to do, and I mentioned that earlier on in the video, but right this minute, I seriously don't know. I'm now finally starting to appreciate this thing. It's now starting to come together, but you know, everything's working. We've got water, we've got toilet, we've got shower. Shower's now sealed. So can I physically have a shower in there if you want a cold one, like really cold. I would like to get the rest of the 240 finished off because we only have a couple of sockets to put in. There's a socket to go there, and I'm sure there's another one to go over here. I've got the wires in there, and it would be nice to tidy the wiring up as well, put some trunking in those lockers so we don't go and knock them. Up the top here, I've been thinking about that locker. I might just turn that into a kiddie bed space. Something like that, or just an open cupboard that I can chuck stuff up with some nets or something to block the exit. I just really can't be dealing. I ain't got no doors left anyway. I really can't be dealing with it. It's just too much to think about. We've still got to tidy up these wires, which will be hidden behind whatever it is I build up there. You won't see that. Unfortunately, I can't hide those, but they're not affecting the performance of anything. We've got to put plywood over the top of this, and then the skirting will hide the drainage. No issues there. So yeah, that's it. So if you like what I've done, guys, please press the like button. Very much would like that to happen. I don't know who you, yeah, anyway, I'd very much like that to happen. And I think to utter exhaustion, I'm going to disappear now and go upstairs and get this edited. There's 2 weeks worth of footage. It must be about 6 hours all in all that I've got to whittle down to about 20 minutes, but I might actually make this a 45-minute one if you can tolerate the boredom. Catch you later. Bye.